Welcome back to another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Creme Brulee. That's right, don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. And today, I'm joined by the most special guest that I'll ever be joined by. That is my one and only, my wife, Stephanie Ba. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
She gets to listen to me yell into the mic, so it's only right that in this at-home isolation, she has to sit right next to it.
I don't just have to listen from the other room this time?
No. Or try to fall asleep while I yell. Here we are. And babe, we start every episode with Yeah, Fam or Nah. And we have a little special edition this week. But I want to get the little bit of sports out of the way. And you chime in if you want to. You are a very avid sports fan. So I'm sure you'll have some takes. Some of these you won't care about. First up is the NFL offseason. We recapped last episode with my dude Jeff Robinson. There have been some moves since then. Tom Brady officially signed his 2-year deal with Tampa Bay. How do we feel about Tom Brady?
Ugh.
Yeah, this is a Buckeye household.
Petty alert.
Cam Newton's officially going to be cut by the Panthers. He got a raw deal. A lot of people are suspecting maybe he ends up on the LA Chargers.
They cut him?
They cut him, yeah. They sure did.
I'm sure he's not happy about that.
He's not, but he's very driven. He just posted in his weird font. If you ever get a chance to decipher the letters he uses on his Instagram, it's quite the brain game. I know you're into those right now. Emmanuel Sanders goes from... He was traded mid-year from Denver to San Francisco. He signed with New Orleans. He gets Drew Brees to throw him the ball. Devin Funchess, speaking of ill Michigan, he had his 1 year with Indianapolis cut short. He signed with Green Bay to be their second wide receiver.
Another reason for you to hate the Packers, huh?
You said it. Tajay Sharp went from Tennessee to Minnesota. He will be the second wide receiver with Adam Thielen now that Diggs is in Buffalo. And Robbie Anderson, your boomer bust special for fantasy football owners, is now going to be on the Carolina Panthers, catching passes from Teddy Bridgewater. You can still hear Jeff yelling. And we had a little minor trade. Kyle Allen went from the Carolina Panthers to his former, now current again coach, Ron Rivera in Washington. He got traded for a 5th-round pick, so Allen joins Ron Rivera and a Washington QB room featuring our boy Dwayne Haskins. Hopefully they don't take our guy's job away.
I want him ruling that team. Number one. Just slinging him all day long.
They're destroying his career, babe.
But he seems like such a good guy.
He is. And he's gotten a raw deal. And the most gut-wrenching for me, Travis Frederick announces his retirement. Travis Frederick famously, of course, had to sit out a year with Guillain-Barré syndrome. He came back last year and made the Pro Bowl. It is definitely bittersweet. I am happy that he's doing what's best for him and his family. But it sucks to see him go from that awesome offensive line and creates a major hole in that offensive line. Travis Frederick will always be one of my biggest instances of eating my words. Speaking of an early, you played yourself.
Don't ever play yourself.
The Cowboys reached for Frederick in the first round of the 2013 draft. And 5 Pro Bowls, multiple leading rushers later, I am very happy to eat my words.
You played yourself.
So Cowboys fans are going to miss Travis Frederick and his big-ass beard tremendously.
They can just watch Ezekiel Elliott's hair get bigger instead.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott's hair is outrageous, and all his mom does and complains about on Twitter, because she is on there a lot, is Zeke's hair, and that he needs to cut it. In pure mom fashion.
That's awesome.
Overall, I think this is a little less of a Yeah Fam, but it is still sports news, and we could use that, so thank goodness for free agency in the NFL. The only thing I am a nod to, obviously, is Travis Frederick for personal reasons. And Cam Newton, he got a raw deal, and he doesn't get to prove himself because he's coming off an injury, but he can't go to any facilities because it's not allowed. He can't prove his health. So it sucks for him. And speaking of unhealthy, one last thing. Tua Tagovailoa posted a video of him throwing, and he looks pretty good after his hip issues in his final season in Alabama. The hype train is real. The draft is coming up, and it definitely looks like someone is going to go get this guy. So I'm a yeah fam to any kind of NFL draft type. Hopefully it is a very exciting NFL draft, and watch it not be now that everybody's predicting trades. Okay, now we're on to the main event. We thought it would be fun to do a couples quarantine edition since COVID-19 is impacting us all. All of us are at home, self-isolating as we should be, taking care of ourselves, staying healthy, staying away from those people at risk, social distancing, all that good stuff. Well, we've had a lot of time to spend with our loved ones. Some people don't like it, others, like us, I would like to say, not just because she's sitting here, enjoy it.
Do I need to go into the other room so you can share your true feelings?
I can always edit, Well, first, before we get to our special edition, I wanted to get your take, Steph, on COVID-19 and the canceling of sports. So we went over all these leagues. Pretty much everything is not going down right now, as you can see. And the most recent one was the Summer Olympics that were going to be in Tokyo coming up here shortly. They are now delayed until 2021. And the NFL draft, it's going to be smaller and maybe even a closed set. And despite recommendations, they being the NFL, are still planning to have it. So, yeah, fam or not, to COVID-19 and canceling sports, take it from any angle you want, whether it's selfish, you want to be able to watch sports, or you think it's right?
Well, I think that it's probably right to make sure that we're putting everyone's health first. I do think it's very sad that the Summer Olympics have been postponed just for the athletes' sake. I think the Olympics are kind of a special beast in the sense that you work for it almost your whole life, most of these athletes do.
Yeah.
And some only get, one shot depending on what sport they play or what age they are. So just thinking of the time and the effort and just the dedication that those Olympic athletes have put into preparing, it kind of breaks my heart that they don't get to live out their dreams. But I understand that we're in a very unique time in history, and hopefully in 2021, almost all those athletes will be able to come back and shine.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. That's a good point, if that delay in a year impacts anyone competing. But the Olympics you're right, it is very unique in that you don't get many opportunities, and you're 4 years older the next time you maybe get one. So, yeah, I'm a yeah fam. We all know, it's obvious, we got to protect one another's health. But if we're talking pure selfishness, I do enjoy the Summer Olympics more, and we don't get to see it. It's delayed. It's for a good reason. And this is a prime example of protecting people from themselves, because I think people would have sacrificed to go to the Olympics because of what you said. So I think this is a smart move, and the only move they could make. I know they're feeling pressure to do that.
Couldn't the NFL draft be done without a set or without everyone in the room? Like, it could all be done over phone calls. Why are they still pushing?
It should, but it's money. Money and entertainment, and people will tune in because people tune in anyway, even when there isn't a quarantine. But
won't that come back to bite them, though, in some way, shape, or form?
It very well could. But
what if one of these young athletes gets sick?
Okay, so we're a mixed bag on that. We're a yeah fam to the cancellation because of the obvious, but a nah for selfish reasons. And I think that's every one of us out here isn't happier that sports are gone, but recognize it's the right thing to do. And I guess we'll see. We might have the biggest of blessings when everything is fine, because all the sports will be back at once, and we are going to have just an abundance. We talked about it last week. It is going to be crazy. So enjoy your quality time while you have it, babe.
You'll be glued to ESPN in a couple months.
It would be almost too much. We might have to set up multiple monitors.
Oh, jeez. Your dream will come true.
Yes. Amen. For those that don't know, my dream is to have multiple monitors that you can watch either like 4 different things or one big screen. That's the man cave goal.
Like you see at a sports bar, those huge
Amen.
4 TV screens. Ugh.
It's a dream.
We don't have a big enough basement.
We'll work on it, guys. Okay. Now for the main event. COVID-19 at-home quarantine couples edition, babe. Okay, I'm going to name different aspects of our lives, and you tell me, yeah, fam, or nah, to how COVID-19 has impacted them. So, yeah, fam, if you like it more now, under this current situation, or not, if you are not very much digging it. Okay, first up, yeah, fam, or nah, being in quarantine under the topic of health. What do you say?
I have to say yeah, fam, to that because I have not missed a workout since quarantine started. Every day I have built it into my schedule at 11 a.m.
You know people are cursing you because there's literally people talking about the Corona 15, so you're over here showing them up.
I'm not showing anyone up because my workouts are not necessarily the most hardcore that there are. And I definitely push myself more when I'm around other people, like in my exercise classes. Shout out the Y and Body Pump. But I would say that overall, I'm walking Teddy every day. I'm either running or working out every day. So, yeah, fam, to my health over these last 2 weeks.
Teddy's our dog, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I should clarify. I'm not walking a human. I'm walking a dog.
He's laying right next to us asleep as we speak. Okay. I dig that. I'm a nod to this because my health has gotten worse. We're going to talk about it a little bit more, but the nature of my job is quote-unquote essential. So I have not been focusing very much on my health, and it has not been great for that. So I'm a nah. I feel like that is the case with a lot of you, and I feel for you. Go ahead. Pack on that Corona 15. Nobody's seen you for a while. You got time to work it back off, guys. And if you are healthy, good for you. I'm not hating on that. I kind of am, but...
You did judge me a little bit.
Yeah, we're a little judgy here. You know the vibes, number one podcast listeners.
Teddy alert.
Okay.
Teddy alert.
What about yeah, fam or nod to food?
I'm conflicted on this one. I don't know how to give it one answer because...
You have to give it one answer.
But on like one hand, I'm a yeah fam because I've been cooking every meal. I've been eating healthier. I am able to have the time to make all of our meals, which during the normal work week does not always happen. However, I also am a big nah fam because I'm just feeling for all of the life that centers around our love for food because we like to socialize around food. We like to go to new restaurants. We like to try different things, support local businesses. So that part of me is definitely feeling more nah fam because I feel for all of our friends that own restaurants, all of our friends that work in restaurants, and I just want this part to be over for them so that they can go back to hopefully having their businesses and their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
But, so yeah, some of the selfish part of me is a yeah fam because I'm cooking, but thinking of all of our loved ones and how we love to spend our time, I'm a nah fam.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a nod because of the latter. We have to... We love going out to eat, honestly.
We do, yeah.
And that's the main factor. It's all selfish, and we like showing our faces in public. Sometimes it's the only time. So that's a good excuse to do it. Yes, I know a lot of places are open to go, and we are supporting them, but it's just not always the same.
No.
Okay. What about in relation to our very happy home, our humble abode?
Our humble abode. Our humble abode is getting a makeover because your wife doesn't do good with downtime. So,
she's struggling. As we speak, she's sitting on a medicine ball instead of a chair.
Hey, it's good for your legs and your back, right? Isn't that what you told me?
Sight to see. She cannot sit still. It's gonna be crazy around here with the tasks she finds. So from
You're
our
probably
house's
feeling
standpoint,
a nah fam because you don't like how I'm.
she
Over
just you
working.
just don't do well with just relax.
Hey, our kitchen has never been cleaner. I emptied out all of our cabinets. I wiped them all down.
It's been
I
like a week. It's been a
reorganized.
week. Number one podcast listener. She's already running out of tasks.
Our pantry has been cleaned out. There's no more expired food in there. You can actually find the snacks that you want. Good things.
See, my philosophy is if you can find the snacks you want, there's not enough snacks in there. How do you guys feel?
No. You have to be able to see what's in there to know what you're going to eat.
It's a beautiful thing to kind of forget that you had a real gem deep in the pantry. And that's the world I'm trying to create here.
Oh, man.
But I can't. Because now she organized them and put the ones that are partially open up front. So it forces me to...
Eat the open food first. That's a good thing.
Whatever. Listen. In terms of the house... From the house's perspective, yeah, fam. The house has never been loved more. Is it a little much? Maybe. Maybe.
I gotta fill my time somehow.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy around here, around these parts, if this quarantine doesn't end.
To say, if this continues for a month, who knows what projects I will find. I might be taking all the screens off the windows and washing them. We will have the cleanest and prettiest house on the block.
We're gonna run out of things. You're gonna start washing walls.
Hey, I did that over the summer. We're good.
It's crazy. Okay. What about our social life? Yeah, fam or nah? Now, let's preface this by saying you are a homebody. You prefer... You like your social appearances, but you much prefer a night on the couch. But, given the current scenario, yeah, fam or nah, to the social life under this stay-at-home order?
So I feel like when you're told you can't do something, you, want to do it more. And this
You're
is a
not
prime
rebellious,
example.
though, babe.
No, I'm not rebellious, and that's why I've been at home for the last week and a half, because I am a rule follower. However, I have to say nah to this because I'm realizing, as much as I love my Friday nights on the couch ordering pizza, watching Netflix, it's a Friday night. It's one night of the week that I want that. Not 14 days in a row. I'm realizing that my work, I am social all day long, and we do have events that we go do throughout the week so that I earn my quiet night in. But I'm not earning my quiet night in right now. I'm just constantly in my own head. So
I buy that.
I'm a nah fam to the social life right now.
This is like the easiest
Easy
one.
Yeah.
I love being social. This is a nah. It sucks. I feel like I'm only ever at work. I don't even get to be very social with you because of the long hours. And obviously, it's just wiser not to be around many people right now, and that very much sucks for me because that's where
You thrive.
That's where I thrive. That's right in the wheelhouse for me. You number one pot. Obviously, I can just talk to no one here.
Just say you're reaching out to everyone right now.
Right through the mic.
You're connecting with everyone.
You guys get to hear my loud ass voice.
You're
no matter
socializing
what.
like crazy right now.
Socializing, right? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both a nah for that one. All right, now on to most important relationship. That would be me and you, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, fam or nah to what this is doing for our relationship. Not like that deep. I didn't mean to make it sound like it was like impacting our relationship. I just meant
You got
this
something
version.
you gotta say?
That's not wrong.
No, I would say, so it's unique for us because you are still working, and not only still working, you're working more than usual. So we have a unique perspective of the quarantine life that we're not spending enough time together in a weird way.
Yeah, it's
To
less.
say. So I'm a nah fam just because we don't get to have our normalcy. Like we don't get to have our both wake up together in the morning and get dressed and talk, or get home in the evening and cook dinner together, or, take Teddy for a walk together. Those are things that...
Very 1950s like right now around this house.
Yeah. I'm doing all the cooking and the cleaning and folding his laundry.
Yeah, I feel very, very inadequate at home right now, and it's very old school right now. I need you to know that's not how we run things here.
I'm usually a hardcore feminist and don't like gender roles, but... Here we are.
Here we are, back in the 1950s with the stay-at-home order and self-isolation. So, I'm a nod at this also. I definitely recognize that it is going to end up being good for a lot of couples because it is forcing a lot of you to stay at home and
reconnect.
Maybe more time than some of you want.
Yeah.
But just... My little too much sense a little early. Just keep it in perspective. It's a good thing to have this much undivided time, and some people don't get that. And I know some are having this time for shitty reasons. Like a lot of us are out of work. I get that, but let's just try to take it as a positive. There's good parts about all this, and
lean into it a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a nod at this one personally, but I get why it'd be good for a lot of other people.
Yeah,
it's forcing you guys maybe to spend more time than you want, but work on yourselves.
Right. And find unique ways to connect too, because I think a typical week for us is more dinner or Netflix, or dinner and what's recorded on TV.
Netflix and chill, am I right, fam? What up?
Shut up. No, but if you're home all day with your spouse or with your significant, you're probably having to find different ways to entertain each other and connect and play games and
do hypotheticals,
Yeah.
Where do you
we do on vacation?
Future exactly. Find some topics that really force the issue a little, so you get some life philosophy type conversations. That's what I dig. Okay.
Love that.
Last but not least, our relationship is most important to us, but I thought this was the most unique of perspectives because of what you and I are going through. So I saved this one for last. And that is are you a yeah fam or not to work? So, you podcast listeners, a lot of you, to know her is to love her, but if you don't know her, my wife is a kindergarten teacher. So we probably all know a teacher or someone who's being impacted by this and having to learn from home.
Yep.
So that's a unique perspective on one hand. And as I said last podcast episode, I am in the public health world. I work at a health department. So I have a unique perspective in that work has actually gotten legitimately crazy because this is a pandemic and this is legit what public health practices, and this is the perfect storm of what the basis of public health comes from. So we have a unique perspective. We get that it's not the same, but yeah, fam or not to work, and I think I have an idea where you're going to go with this.
Oh man, I am a hardcore nah fam. My little kindergarten students, 5 and 6-year-olds, should not be sitting at a computer screen to be taught how to read, write, count, add, subtract.
You become a pro YouTuber now. Like and subscribe, basically.
Oh God, no. So it's been tough. Last week was so stressful. And just the hard, honest truth is that I miss my kids and I miss being with them every day. And it's not the same working through a computer screen. You don't get to have those relationship pieces, the social skills, the play, and the unknown too of not really knowing what families are following through on the learning plans and what kids are actually getting enriching experiences still. And I worry, and that just this distancing is only making that worry grow larger when I already worry when I see them every day. So the one good thing that's coming out of this is all of those memes and things going around social media saying how important teachers are and how homeschooling sucks. And
if you shouldn't have already known that.
Yes.
This is definitely showing you guys.
There's so many out there that are like, why aren't teachers making 6 figures? Why are they not being underpaid? I'm like, wait, how long have people been saying this? Why is it taking a pandemic for you to realize that we're important?
God forbid some people have to teach their own kids and then they finally fucking realize it.
My favorite was when parents pre-pandemic would come into a parent-teacher conference and say, oh no, my kid would never do that. That's so not him or her. And then now, post-pandemic, yeah, my kid's a shit. I'm sorry you have to deal with it. Like, it's the reality. The truth is coming through. But, so that's the only somewhat of a positive coming out of this crazy situation. But in general, I'm a huge nah to this. I didn't go to school to teach through a computer screen.
I hear you. And if you know those people, either a teacher or someone being taught via a screen now, you definitely get some unique perspective now. So if you didn't already, it's a great opportunity to appreciate some teachers.
Teachers are struggling right now. Please don't say, wow, what are you doing with all your extra time? We're stressing, we're worried, and we're freaking out.
This is not how you know, a lot of teachers are alphas. I call Steph, I call you an alpha female, and a lot of our friends are teachers. I call them all alpha females. They like to plan. This is not something they plan for. No. This is something nobody planned for, we get. But some of us other jobs sit at a desk, so it's easy to transition to home life. This is not one of them, especially any teacher, but especially the young ones. It's a crucial time for them, so it is a lot of pressure. So appreciate those people. Appreciate all the people working, essentially. This is like unique times. I know we appreciate the front lines, the healthcare workers, but also the teachers still making it work. People at grocery stores, all that stuff. It's important. So mine's a unique scenario. I am in the thick of all this COVID-19 stuff. On one hand, I'm a fan because our field of public health is getting some attention, and hopefully it's for a positive, because everyone I know is working around the clock to make sure we protect the public's health. And it's nice to be recognized like that. We don't want it under this scenario, but a lot of us are taking advantage of it and leaning into it. We know it's not lost on us that a lot of people are struggling, so we're trying to do our part. And someone like me is trying to lean into this unique opportunity that hopefully never happens in my career. So trying to lean into it, and also we're both trying to have perspective, I think.
For sure.
There's people struggling out there, and we all know them, and we love them, and we're trying our best to help them out, but some of us don't have that we legitimately don't have to complain about work, and that's not lost on you and I. And
for sure.
I think most of you that are still working have that perspective, so where you can, I think you and I are both fans of supporting, I don't know who isn't, but support those people around you, you know? Right. Some people are too proud to ask for it, but maybe just go out of your way and insist. Even something small like dropping off dinner or dessert or something could go a long way. Yeah. I know you have to keep your social distance so you can drop it and run, but
ring the doorbell.
That sort of thing. It's never a bad thing. You can Venmo them some cash to go get a coffee or something, or use however they want, you know? So do something for someone that may not have it better than you. And if you are struggling right now, it's okay for people to help you out, because we know you would do the same for us. So,
you know what's kind of funny about this is pre-COVID-19, people would ask you, hey, Prem, what do you do for a living? And you'd be like, I'm an epidemiologist. And all you would get was this really confused look and stare, and really no one knows what that means. But I have a feeling that post all of this, when you get asked that question, you're going to get a much different reaction.
Hell, it might even be a category on those drop downs when they ask you your profession now.
Maybe you actually, the light is being shed.
It's crazy, and I think it's just important to have perspective. So whatever perspective that is for you, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say it's just important to realize where you're at. And yes, it could be worse, it could be better. You're somewhere in between that, but don't let the people around you fail. And if you're one that's kind of taking on water, let those other people throw your raft.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I think that's one of the beautiful things that comes out of moments like this, is you realize we really truly are all human, and we all have basic needs that need to be met. And you're seeing people step up right now and help each other out, as a lot of things are out of our control, but being kind is not, or what, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Being kind is in our control is what I was trying to say. So, yeah, that's a positive that's coming out of this crazy situation.
I dig it. Okay, a little bit of fun here. So I wanted to do a little role reversal here.
Oh no.
I wanted to ask you, Steph, what is the worst part about this quarantine for me, your husband, Premal?
Oh,
what
geez.
is your take on what's the worst for me?
Only one thing?
I mean, you can take it where you want to. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Oh, jeez. The worst thing about this quarantine, well, I mean, easily right off the bat, number one is your social life and not being able to be with our friends.
I resent that.
No, it's a major part of who you are. Our friends are our family, and we miss being around them and interacting with them. Shout out all our peeps. But that would be like the first thing that comes to my mind. But the second thing is March Madness. I just know that how much you love that tournament and the excitement and watching basketball games all day long and the thrill that you get from it and making brackets and stuff like that. So for being specific, I'd say that, but an overarching topic would be just your social life.
Yeah.
How'd I do?
I think you're right. I knew that's what you're going to guess too. But it's very obvious, a lot of us are missing that social aspect. We know a lot of people like that, but think about just if you're struggling with the lack of social life, think about how much fun it's going to be when this all is done and you get to get back to it. There's going to be some amazing hangouts with your friends, your family, all that stuff. It's going to be good. And the build-up's going to be great. It's going to be like every friend went on vacation. You haven't seen them.
Right.
So
much happiness.
Just let it build. Let it be build.
Build anticipation.
Same question for me. What do I think you are hating the most about this?
Oh, man.
I think it is being cooped up at home.
Yeah.
And not getting to specifically be at work. Because I think everything else stems from that.
It does.
It is a combination of those two. You have to be cooped up at home. I know you love your time with Teddy Boy, but she literally cannot sit still. She's still on this damn medicine ball instead of a chair. It is being home and also not being able to be at work specifically. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, because I think so much of my just being comes from work. We've always said this about you and I, like, that you live...
I work to live.
You work to live. But for me, my profession, like, I do live to work. Like, I love my job, and I love my coworkers, and it's
by the way, newsflash, guys, we talked about it. Teachers don't get paid enough. So it really is a lot of their passion. I'm not going to speak for all of them, but... They don't purposely go out to go earn less money than they deserve, okay? So they're really doing it because they love it, despite what some of you schmoes think.
Yeah, so I think being away from work is hard. And I think it also stems from feeling like I have a purpose every day. Where I know I'm still teaching online, but it's very disconnected. Like, I don't get to see the immediate result of the work or the immediate result of the kids learning from something. So I think I'm missing, when I wake up each day, just feeling like I have a purpose because everything's disconnected. So that's probably why you picked work, because
she's not like a workaholic in that sense. I mean, she does work very hard, but I think a lot of it stems from that. You're very much part of your identity.
And I'm a routine person. So, if you mess up my routine, it's going to take me a while to recoup, which is why I have an hour-by-hour schedule of what quarantine life looks like for me.
Including down to the play with Teddy and walk Teddy times, guys.
I have to. Otherwise, I'd be going crazy.
All right, so we passed the couples quiz here.
All right.
That was pretty easy. Okay. And now it's time for You Played Yourself.
Go.
It is our time to call out whoever the hell we want. And first up, I want to, just like I did with the last section, let's do somewhat sports related. It does bleed into COVID-19. It's just the nature of the beast right now. But my first one is for Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils ownership group. That is led by a man named Josh Harris. So Josh Harris and his ownership group decided to cut their at-will employees' pay by 20%. From April 15th to the end of June, facing cuts from their lack of profit. Obviously, since sports aren't going on, they can't sell tickets, nothing like that. They were going to reduce pay by 20%. They probably were playing themselves thinking, oh, wow, a lot of us are going to think they reduced it by 20%, but they're not getting rid of jobs, so great work. Not the fucking case. Obviously not. Very tone deaf. We're all hearing it now. Just the idea of cutting people earning $50,000 a year by 20% from a billionaire seems a little tone deaf. So anyway, they had to reverse course after making this decision because they faced backlash.
Oh, jeez.
This was from Josh Harris. Quote, as part of an effort, we asked salaried employees to take a temporary 20% pay cut while preserving everyone's full benefits and keeping our 1,500 hourly workers paid throughout the regular season. After listening to our staff and players, it's clear that was the wrong decision. You fucking think? Anyway, we have reversed it and we will be paying these employees their full salaries. This is an extraordinary time in our world, unlike any most of us have ever lived through before, and ordinary business decisions are not enough to meet the moment. To our staff and friends, I apologize for getting this wrong. End quote. So, the reason this kind of was sparked is by one of their own technically employees, 76ers center Joel Embiid. He reportedly pledged to donate $500,000 for COVID-19 relief and pledged to help those Sixers employees who would be affected by the pay cut. So here you have a millionaire having to come to the relief of thousandaires because a billionaire decided to cut their fucking salaries.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, I get he apologized, but how fucking dumb do you have to be? You have to cut these people making ends meet and really struggling right now just to preserve your bottom line as a billionaire?
Does he even need an income right now? If you're a billionaire,
he fucking
you don't
doesn't.
need an income.
They
right
had their
now.
front office take pay cuts, all that. Reduce your own salary. Reduce those people's salaries. They're doing just fine. Their GM is Elton Brand. He's a former NBA player. He's doing just fine. Take your own fucking money and fund him. It shouldn't take one of your employees, an athlete who's a millionaire, offering to help for you to step up and realize the correct decision. This fucking idiot probably thought he was being a genius by saying, we're going to save all these jobs by cutting 20% of your pay. I am so glad the court of public opinion rallied and proved this guy wrong.
Yeah.
You played yourself. Okay. I was told, babe, that you had something to get off your chest for you played yourself. So take it away.
So I'm not good at ranting, so I'm going to do my best.
Clearly,
here.
we can't have two yellers in the couple.
But something that's been bothering me since this whole COVID-19...
Let it loose. Take the training wheels off, babe.
Bothering me since this whole thing started was just watching people's interactions on social media. Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you would see all these videos and posts about, oh, COVID-19 is being blown out of proportion. Who cares? Go on your trips. Go on your vacations. I'm still going out for St. Patty's Day. Screw this. Posting all your pictures of you drinking with all your friends, saying it's not a big deal. Now, 2 weeks later, all your social medias are now saying, oh, take this seriously, guys. Just stay home. You know, what are you doing? Listen to the scientists. Well, wait, why weren't you listening to the scientists 3 weeks ago, a month ago? We wouldn't be where we are if we were actually listening to what was being published.
Basically, if you were out on St. Patrick's Day, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Nobody needs to hear from you.
The world of social media is making me laugh right now because it was such a different tune from all these people. And the biggest thing is like the quote-unquote influencers or bloggers. There were so many that would rant about it's not fair, we're closing down all these businesses, but now are reprimanding people about being social and being out. It's like, God, if you're going to put things out in the public, you got to be one message and one message only. You can't keep changing your tune and then judge others on top of it when you change your tune too.
I dig it, babe. Did
I do okay?
Good job.
Is that a good rant?
Yeah,
all
and
right.
Speaking of rants, we have our gal LG submitted something. Our gal LG is a nurse, and she had something that she wanted to express on You Played Yourself.
All right, so I'm usually not one to go on rants like this, but being a nurse during these times and then seeing what I saw this morning, it just all became too much. I was at the grocery store and saw so many people not only wearing gloves, but masks. All right, listen, people, if you have disposable gloves, but you're still walking around the grocery store touching everything, then touching your phones, your face, your purse, your car, the gloves aren't doing anything for you. You just need to wash your hands. Then for the people that had masks on, I even saw a man with an N95 mask on. It had gaps all around it, didn't fit him properly, so it wasn't doing anything for him. I just can't even begin to describe how angry this makes me that these people have access to this PPE when there's healthcare workers that need it. Us healthcare workers should not have to be wearing bandanas or makeshift masks so that you can walk your working from home ass around Giant Eagle in your mask and gloves. Please, I just urge people to save this extremely important PPE for the healthcare workers who will need it when they're taking care of you or your family and friends. All right, well, that's my little rant. Stay home, stay healthy, and please just wash your hands.
And along those same lines, and just so you number one podcast listeners know, just to let you guys know, if you ever want to, in this especially quarantine-related time, and I think it's something I want to start applying, I want other people's voice to be heard. I have come to realize from featuring some new people on here that it's nice to get some microphone therapy on here. So, with that being said, it's your chance. If you ever have something you want to get off your chest, I'll feature you. You're my people. You deserve it. Number one podcast listeners deserve a number one podcast spot. So, with that, let's do a COVID-19 check. Let's see how our peoples are doing. First up, our boy, Akshat. Go check out his podcast, Hit Sing All. My guy Akshat was nice enough to drop some knowledge, some COVID-19 related knowledge. Here's a rant sponsored by him.
I really wish our politicians would get their shit together and pass a relief bill that benefits all the people who are struggling right now, which there are a lot of them. And it sucks that we're this far into a global pandemic and we are still relatively in the dark about what kind of help we're going to get from the federal government. It sucks. I really wish they would get it together. That's it.
Next up, let's check in on how we're all doing hold up inside our own places, social distancing. That's our girl Natty Cake's bot. Shout out Natty Cake's bot. Might be the new theme song. Alright, they killed it. And my last but not least is more of a general rant. You know, this COVID-19 testing, as a public health professional, and you don't have to be a professional to know that supplies are limited with tests, I just feel like I need to address the fact that these celebrities and professional athletes need to get much needed COVID-19 testing. They're taking it for themselves as if their overall health, being in peak physical condition, is a priority right now instead of people who are actually really sick, really hospitalized, elderly, immunocompromised. But yet here we are giving valuable, limited tests to these celebrities and professional athletes who just want to be tested to be tested. If there's anything I can tell you, if you're feeling symptomatic, you feel like you've come across someone and you are healthy enough to handle it, save the tests, save the hospital spots, save everything for the people that really need it. We are in dangerous times right now, so do not look for these famous fucking people to be your guide through this. Go to reputable sources and don't use supplies and tests that are needed for people that are actually doing stuff, for people that are actually sick. Fucking stop. You have a job, and it is to spread the message, to stay home, to social distance, all that stuff. If you're getting tired of people posting about it, fine, I get it. Just put down the phone. Talk to someone in your house. I don't know. But our one job and one thing that we should never get upset about is people trying to do their own part. It is not people getting tested when they're not very sick. It is not people buying up fucking toilet paper or buying up supplies that our neighbors can use and keeping our neighbors from their own hygiene. It is none of that. Wash your hands. Only buy what you need. Keep the hell away from people and we'll get through this. And for crying out loud, like LG said, stop buying shit medical professionals need and stop using up tests that sick people really need. Fucking stop it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Anyway, sorry,
Can I
babe.
just say, like, agree?
This is one you can ride with.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Usually I just yell into the abyss, but I had to yell in front. I mean, you're used to it. I yell at a TV usually, but at least this is a good message.
This is a good message, definitely.
Okay, on to a lighter note. We're going to who you got and what you feeling. Last episode, Jeff and I talked about our favorite moves of the NFL free agency. And then we talked about a question that you said you loved, so we're going to bring it back. Mm-hmm. And that question was, if you could have one sporting event back that COVID-19 has taken, what would it be? Mm-hmm. So last episode, Jeff said the Masters and a little bit of a surprise answer. I, last week, said the opening Friday of the NCAA tournament. You already correctly got that right in that other section. So you're spot on for that.
Whoop, whoop.
So, you, miss.
Yes.
What is the sporting event you want back? You can pick one sporting event that you could have back that COVID-19 has taken.
I'm not going to be as specific as you, but I am going to say March Madness. I grew up in a basketball household, so even pre-dating you, engaged to you, married to you, living with you, March...
11, 12 years now.
Yeah. March Madness was always a big deal in my family. We had a bracket every year as just the six of us. We sat and watched all the games. We had a Duke, North Carolina kind of rivalry in our household. So college basketball has just been a big part of my yearly existence, and I'm missing it this year. And I was actually even thinking today, as Teddy and I, our dog, were on a walk, I was thinking, I'm like, gosh, quarantine was set up to be the perfect environment for March Madness. To be home all day and actually be able to watch all the games and only be able to order takeout and sit and eat your favorite foods.
That's a revelation. If they could have just protected the players,
right?
You know?
Having alcohol be allowed to be delivered for what? It's a perfect environment for March Madness.
I never thought about that.
Right?
Yep.
But unfortunately, not unfortunately, that's a horrible thing to say. I'm happy they're protecting all of the athletes and all the fans and all the coaches.
It's purely from entertainment, yeah.
From an entertainment standpoint, March Madness would be perfect right now.
Okay, so you have March Madness.
Yeah.
If you could pick... So we're facing maybe leagues being delayed, whatnot. This is off the cuff here. Would you rather have if you could have only one back.
Yeah.
College football, NFL, NBA. I mean, I'll include baseball just for purposes. I know it's not your answer.
Baseball.
Whoa. Wow.
Sorry.
Which one would you choose?
What do you mean? So leagues are postponing their seasons?
Yes.
So
if you could say you're guaranteed one back, which one would it be?
Out of NFL, college football, or NBA?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say college football for sure.
Yeah.
Hands down.
That was my answer. NFL's pretty close.
Fall wouldn't be the same if college football wasn't around. Yeah. That's like what we do every weekend. Every Saturday is game day.
It is. That was my initial thought too. I know a lot of NBA fans want to see how this season would have turned out, and we still might see that. I'm not putting that away, but and then me and my family, we're riding with the Stros, and we want to embrace being the villain, and we want to see if we can thrive under that villain role and succeed. So part of me wishes that too, and I know that's lowest on your list, but maybe hockey's lower.
I don't think I've ever watched a hockey game in my life.
We watch playoff hockey. But go Jackets, go hockey.
That's true. I watched one Blue Jackets game when they were.
We're big hockey family, guys. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Support Columbus sports.
Okay, give the people something to watch while they're quarantined. What do you...
Something to watch.
Yeah, give them a recommendation. You don't like being cooped up too much, but you have started a few shows. You've recently finished Breaking Bad, which I'm very proud of. Give the number one podcast listeners something to watch while they are staying at home.
Well, I hid this from you. I binge watched Love is Blind.
Listen, guys... I don't condone this.
It is good.
I might bleep it out as if it's a cuss word. Say no to reality TV. Watch something of substance, guys.
Can I clarify? I am not a fan of like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. I've never
That's my
seen.
Girl.
Maybe I've seen one episode, I think, of all of those type shows. But, when you got a lot of downtime, you watch what other people are watching. You want to know what's being talked about. So I was like, okay, I'll watch an episode. I'll see if I buy. And I sunk. I watched almost the whole season. It was just a little over a day where I finished it all. So if you're one of the people that have been holding off because of the quote unquote stigma of it, you're going to love it too. Just give it 30 minutes and you're going to be glued to it and you're going to want to know what happens to all of these people. And there are 2, 3 happy endings.
Whatever.
There are.
Okay, what's something people should watch? I think I gave them to you. Watch the fucking classics. Watch The Sopranos. Watch Breaking Bad. Watch The Wire. Watch good shows, guys. Stop watching fucking trash.
Sometimes you just need to binge
Stop
the trash.
with the trash, guys. If you need recommendations, hit your boy up. Okay.
No, I've got better ones.
No. Okay. She thinks Grey's Anatomy is a good... If you think Grey's Anatomy is a good show, guys...
Number 1.
It's been going on too long.
It has been going on too long. But it's still
It can't
great.
be. No. It's not good.
Shout out Meredith Grey.
Listen, no, we're not shouting that out. Shout out Avon Barksdale and Stringer Bell.
Oh, God.
If you get the reference, good for you. Now you're on to something. Okay. If you could have... one aspect of your life, like the same aspects we talked about earlier, work. We still have a relationship, so maybe that we already have that. Social life, food, health, all that stuff. If you could have one of those return back to normal while we're going through this COVID-19 situation, knowing that you wouldn't get it from it, but just hypothetically, if you could have one return to normal amongst our current living right now, which aspect would it be?
I think I'm going to surprise you with my answer, and I'm going to say social life.
Wow.
And hear me out. Here's my reasoning. Because I'm used to summer, quote unquote, being my break from work. And during that time, I'm able to get house chores done, catch up on books and shows, and So I'm able to put myself in a summer mindset.
Wow.
If I had my social life back. Like,
I'm very
if I
surprised.
could go on coffee dates with my girlfriends, if I could have dinner with our friends, if you and I could go see a movie.
Yeah.
I think it would feel more normal, and I would be able to wrap my head around the not being at work part.
Okay. I would probably say the same one. A little bit more obvious. I'm very surprised by the answer. I thought it was going to be work for sure.
But my reasoning, though, right?
I love it. I dig it.
All right.
I dig it. Okay, now it's time for what you feeling. Okay, babe, what are you feeling lately amidst this quarantine life?
What have I been feeling? My comfort while you're working late or working weekends has been to go back to old movies that I used to love in like middle school and high school.
Like Fast and Furious and Star Wars and stuff?
No.
Oh.
So growing up and with my high school friends, Friday night was movie night. That was just how it was. So every Friday night we ordered pizza. We were allowed to have our one soda of the week.
Wow,
And
that's
we watched a movie. And so that kind of extended into my group of friends in high school. We continued that tradition just amongst us. And so, yeah, at a time like now when you're kind of needing your comforts, you're needing your things that make you feel good, I've been pulling out some of those old movies that I have good memories about. Like, I fell asleep watching Heartbreakers the other night, and I forgot how beautifulully awesome that 90s movie is with Jennifer Love Hewitt wearing skin-tight dresses.
I have never heard of this
Rob
movie when she told me about it.
You have definitely. I've made you watch.
I don't
this
think
movie.
so, guys. I think she's lying about that.
I've made
but
him
I
watch
do need
it.
to put her on game with some comedies here. I think some movies that filled my childhood. Maybe she can.
But yeah, rewatching old movies. Pull out some old movies that you have some fond memories about. That's what I'm feeling right now.
All right. Okay, I am feeling a little bit back to sports here. Our beloved Buckeyes added a duo of transfers, one in basketball and one in football. Seth Towns, former Ivy League Player of the Year, Columbus native. He transferred from Harvard. He'll be immediately eligible as a graduate transfer. Harvard graduate, wow. He will be on Chris Holtman's team. He chose the Buckeyes over Duke. A little hometown love there, but big get for the Buckeyes who saw two freshmen leave through the transfer portal, Alonzo Gaffney and DJ Gardner leaving the program, so Seth Towns fills quite a role. We might see Caleb Wesson leave early for the draft too, so that's a big get for Chris Holtman. And then in football, Ryan Day and his staff secured a transfer, also immediately eligible. Trey Sermon from Oklahoma. He is a 2,000-yard rusher over his 3 seasons in Norman. He chose Ohio State. He fills a much-needed hole left by J.K. Dobbins, who left early for the NFL draft, and a injured Master Teague, who hurt his Achilles in training camp. So Sermon will have every opportunity to play right away, and that is a huge get and a huge fill of a position group that needed it for Ohio State. So I'm feeling that. Little Buckeyes winning even in this time of no activity. Okay, and then you know how I like to end each episode. My too much sense, we sprinkled them in all over the place here due to the nature of the subject, but my too much sense this week, surprise, surprise, is a PSA as a public health professional, and that is to take what you're told seriously. Keep your social distance. Stay inside. It will really help. Most of all, stay informed and know that this will pass. It will pass with all of our help and all of us working together, but working together from a distance. If you're tired of hearing about it, listen, I get it. I do. But we all have a job to encourage each other and keep each other accountable. So if you see someone wanting to break the rules a little, just remember, everybody knows someone that might have not the greatest health. So you don't want to put people in danger for bringing it back to someone who is not very healthy. And that's my too much sense. Stay healthy. Keep spreading the message. It's okay if you're tired of it. Just put your phone down and don't look at it for a while. If you were someone who didn't take it serious, if you're going to start spreading the message, first, let's hear you admit that you're fucking wrong. Right, Steph?
Yeah. Love that.
Don't just change your tune all of a sudden and act like you weren't completely off before. So, that's my Too Much Sense for the week. This has been another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Creme Brulee. I have been joined by my amazing wife, perfect inside and out,
Oh, jeez. That's not true.
Stephanie Bott.
But thank you for letting me come on finally. After, what, how
Oh, yeah,
year-
right.
a
I
year
would have
or
had
so
you before,
of,
but
It took a quarantine for you to ask me to
Whatever.
be able to be on.
whatever. That's a lie. But anyway, thanks, babe, for being on
You're
here.
welcome.
We'll talk to you next time.
See you, fam.